A man has worked the internet up into a tizzy, an absolute flurry of rage when he posted a video that went viral of himself breaking up with his girlfriend. And it's not the way he broke up with her that has people upset, it's the reason he broke up with her.
All right, y'all, so I just broke up with my ex of 5 years, and I literally have no complaints about her. Like, she was perfect, right? I used to, didn't have a car. Now I have a car. But when I didn't have a car, she used to let me ride around in her car all day while she was at work. And I still didn't have a job. And and it doesn't get any better than that. She used to pay for all the meals. She paid for the bills, all that, until I got my stuff together. But it was just something about her. It was just something about her I just couldn't comprehend. Like, I can't really explain it to y'all, but she was so perfect. But you know how somebody can be good to you, but they're just not that good person to you? You know, like, they're that perfect person, but it's just, to me, it's more than just being a perfect person. Like, but they just wasn't that perfect person for me, if you get what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, and I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to try to make it make sense. But she was so perfect in every aspect. She looked good, made good money. Like, I made $30,000 that year, but she made $120,000, and she still humbled herself down to come mess with me. She buys me meals, even to this day. Like, I go home, she'll text me, ask me how my day's going, and then she'll DoorDash me some food while I'm just at the crib not doing anything. And it's just I really can't. I had to make room for who I truly love. Like, even though she was all good and dandy and perfect, I have to make room for my wife. Like, someone who I truly love, even though she might not be as good as this person over here. Me and her goals just didn't align. So I'm just going to let her go and I'm going to let the bird fly. You know, I'm going to let that go, even though she was good to me. I just have to let her go. Like, she'll be good to somebody else. I had to really let her fly away. Like, honestly, she was a blessing to my life, though. So perfect. Good girl. Let me drive her car for real every day. But she literally took care of me. She literally upped my standards. She upped my standards. So now, y'all know my standards were already high. She literally upped my standards. So now, y'all know what's going on. On to the next. I'm about to find my wife, y'all. For real.
So basically, this guy, who goes by Scarface Mark on TikTok, posts this video about how his now ex-girlfriend did everything for him, treated him so well, went so out of her way for him, and yet, even though she treated him in ways no other woman ever has before, he just didn't feel it. The vibes were off. She just was not his wife. Before we get any further into it, we're going to take a brief moment to hear from today's sponsor, Manscaped. And thank you so much for understanding that sponsors help so much with the growth of my channel. As you guys know, I am always talking about the importance of hygiene on my channel, and so I've been asked very specifically to womansplain something about grooming. You guys have asked me if women really prefer beard or no beard, and what they prefer downstairs. Do the ladies like a little shrubbery, or do they want like a freshly mowed lawn? It's actually totally split amongst women, but one thing that they all seem to agree on is that putting any effort into your grooming, whatever the style may be, is attractive. Being confident in how you maintain yourself leads to success in every other area of your life too. And Manscaped can help. Get everything you need to step up your trimming game with the new 10-part Platinum package. The Lawnmower Body Trimmer and the Weed Whacker Ear and Nose Trimmer are the perfect waterproof tools to give you a smooth, comfortable shave in the delicate places where it matters. Here we have the Crop Soother and Preserver, because your balls deserve to be soothed and preserved. And seriously, on behalf of all women, thank you for taking the time to take care of yourself. First of all, you deserve it, but second of all, it is so nice being around good-smelling men. Go to Manscaped and get 20% off and free shipping with code DADVOCATE. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code DADVOCATE. Bonus question: can you use Manscaped tools to shave intricate designs into your nether regions? I don't see why not. That'd be awesome, actually. Anyway, let's get back to the other stuff. And people in the comments were quick to roast him. I'm trying to find my wife. Dude, you just lost her. Every woman's breakup story, 21,000 hearts. That's really every woman's story. It's amazing that no woman has ever been dumped for being an asshole. It's just never happened. Every woman's only flaw is loving too much. Bro self-sabotaging. You get it. People were absolutely horrified that he could find a woman who would treat him so well just to kick her to the curb because he thought he could do better. But other people in the comments recognized what was happening immediately. The amount of people who fell for this social media experiment is insane. See, this man was not being serious. Scarface Mark is a satire creator who specializes in drizzle drizzle or soft guy era content. Drizzle Drizzle and Soft Guy era are a direct response to Sprinkle Sprinkle and Soft Girl era, trends online wherein women play up their role of being provided for, not paying bills, and being spoiled as the princesses they are.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna break down just how expensive it is to be a woman in today's day and age. Let me know if you'd like an individual price breakdown, but this totals to about $650 in product. Next is my nighttime routine. These products total about $610. Again, happy to include a price breakdown per item for you, should you request it. Now onto hair products. So products alone, I'm gonna say are around $200 to $300. And then there's the actual tools.
Had to remove sound, but it says, entering my soft girl era. Apparently, soft girl era involves a lot of consumerism.
Claiming that you're a married woman or claiming that this man loves you, because I won't believe you. I won't believe you if you're digging your pockets trying to pay bills, talking about your man loves you. I will never believe it, because a man that loves you will find a way to pay them bills and make sure you're happy.
So what these drizzle drizzle guys do is they take these popular viral clips of women espousing these ideas, and then they just flip the gender to show people how crazy it sounds when a man says it, which should then imply that it just kind of sounds crazy when anyone does it.
I just had to cut my girl off because I just moved her into my place, and then she's telling me she wants to go 50-50. You were broke. I moved you into my place, and you're asking me to go 50-50. I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't pay bills. I'm in my soft guy era. What do you not understand? At this point, I think this bitch hates me. Oh, no, and there's more. Because she said, oh, let's have a little night out. Like, I want to treat my man. I said, okay, calm down. I'm in my soft guy era, right? This girl took me to Olive Garden. Bitch, who are you? Because you're not my girl. Olive Garden? What is Olive Garden?
I just got off the phone with someone I was seeing, and she asked me how my day was going, and I explained I was at the airport. And then she said, I'm glad you got there safe. And I said, yeah, I had to take an Uber. I had to block her. I mean, she was great and everything. She was emotionally intelligent, always paid for dinner, pretty much catered to my every need. But if you hear I'm taking an Uber to the airport and your first move is not to open up Venmo and send me money, are you even a real woman? And then you find out I'm on a commercial flight and you don't immediately charter me a private jet? I know my worth, Drizzle Drizzle. I'm in my soft guy era. I want to be pampered. And if you're broke, just say that. And I'm sure later she'll come around looking for some sugar, but this sugar don't mix without drizzle.
It's holding up a mirror to show people how bad radical feminism has gotten. And you should know, Scarface Mark was making that video as a direct parody to a video posted by another creator who goes by Laid by Amani.
Hey you guys, so I recently broke up with my boyfriend, and I didn't think that I was going to share this experience or this story just because it's not that big of a deal and it's kind of private too, but I decided to share it because I felt like the girls really needed to hear about this. So there are two major points I'm going to make, and I'm going to try to keep this very short. So number one, the way that God has carried me throughout this breakup is really nothing short of amazing and unbelievable. Usually after a breakup, I'm a mess. Like, I've been known to cry in the club over a breakup. Like, I'm telling you, days, weeks, you know. And the fact that that has not been my experience this time is only because of God. And I've been really trying to get back to my relationship with him, first and foremost, so that he is leading my relationships from now on. Number two is, I feel like a lot of times when we all see these breakup stories, especially coming from the woman's perspective, it's always like this horror story, like, you know, the stuff that she's been through and what he put her through and all the stuff that she put up with. And we all look at her like, girl, why was you in that relationship? Like, why did you stay? But when I tell you guys that that's not my experience at all, like, it just wasn't. My ex was a great guy. Like, even after we broke up, still sending me flowers to my apartment.
What?
you know, like just a great guy, but for somebody else. And we didn't break up because of anything that he did to me, anything that I found out or anything that I did to him. We literally broke up because just of small things that led me to understand that this was not my husband. And so I needed to make room for my husband by exiting that relationship. But I'm telling you, the way that he treated me within this relationship was so good. He's raised my standard. And you guys know that my standards were already high to begin with. But my ex treated me so well in our relationship that it was like, if the next guy, he's made it harder for the next guy. Because if the next guy isn't coming like my ex or better, then off the rip, you can get to stepping. Like, so, you know, breakups don't always have to be this, oh, I'm learning a hard lesson, or I went through some traumatic experience. Not every relationship is going to end up in a marriage. And the ones that don't end up in marriage doesn't mean that it has to be messy, or, you know, as long as you're upholding your standards within the relationship, it should be a positive experience. And honestly, my relationship was a positive experience. And I'm telling you, like, I have nothing bad to say about him. And we're still friends. We still talk and everything. But I just don't feel like the girls hear that often about a relationship that you get out of that has raised your standards. That, like, he's treated me so well, like the next guy's gonna be hard for him, you know. So I just wanted you guys to hear that, because not every breakup is a horror story, and not every breakup is some hard learning lesson. Some breakups are really because you're just maturing and you want different types of relationships, and you just came to understand, like, I don't see myself marrying that person, so let's not waste each other's time. And that's pretty much what this was. But like I said, great guy, love him, and yeah, that's it.
This video did very well, getting over 30,000 likes, about 5,000 shares, and receiving a pretty overwhelmingly positive response with a lot of support. And similar to Scarface Mark's video, her video describes a situation where her now ex-boyfriend did seemingly everything right, raised the bar for her in relationships, treated her amazingly. It just didn't feel right, and he just wasn't her husband. Now, maybe she filters comments, but I could not, while I was scrolling, find a single negative thing in her comment section. And so I think the Drizzle Drizzle social media experiment is saying a lot. What this tells me is that when a woman tells people that even when a man does everything right for her, she can still leave him on a whim, no one bats an eye. But when a guy suggests he's just not feeling it with a good woman, everyone is shocked and horrified that he could ever let such a once-in-a-lifetime maiden go. And what's wild is Amani didn't just receive support from her audience for this post, but sympathy as well. These are the hardest breakups to go through. I don't know, you think it's hard on you? You don't think it's maybe a little harder on the guy who just got told there's nothing wrong with him, but he's still not good enough? That he did everything right, but it was still somehow wrong? And I think that's the part that's frustrating people the most, is she does all this yapping, but she does not once tell us why he isn't her husband or what she is looking for. Like, even though I'm not her ex, even I felt wounded by this situation. I think a lot of us did. Because I think probably all of us have experienced this kind of rejection and ambiguous sense of failure where we're kind of left wondering, like, why did this happen? And how did this happen? So I really did try to dig as deep into this as I could to find any answers, kind of like a case study of how the good guy becomes not good enough. Now, first of all, from the original video, I did find this in the comments. It says, I'm nosy and would love to know more details, but I'm happy for you. To which Amani says, LOL, the detail is, we had a convo where he told me he was struggling with something, and what he was struggling with, I could not help him. So I prayed and asked God to remove him if he wasn't for me. Remove him like how? Like any sort of way? Like cement shoes? Like, how did you want God to remove him? Like the next level of it's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's God. He's moving through me. I'm not breaking up with you. God is breaking up with you through me. Y'all, she really said, oh, struggles? I'm sorry, you said you had struggles? No, that's not for me. God, yes, hello, Jesus. I'm gonna need you to repo this man. Like, she really said that. This is men's biggest fear. He went above and beyond for her, but she didn't want to be there for him when he was struggling. Like, he was good enough, but not good enough to struggle with.
That's rough, buddy.
That's harsh. We do end up getting a bit more context though, because Amani did see some of the criticism against her and made a video in response to that.
So I've been made aware that the last couple of weeks that the males have hated my video that I was talking about my breakup, and I was saying I broke up with my boyfriend, but he was a good guy, treated me well, but he was not my husband, so we broke up. They had a problem with that because basically what they're saying is good enough should be good enough. But let me tell you one thing, good enough was never good enough for me. I live my life on 10 with everything that I do. I'm not going to look at something that's good and think that it's husband, because here's what it is. Good enough is right here. This is a good boyfriend. This is a husband, okay? And a lot of y'all date men that are in the gutter. See, I feel bad for not only the men be acting crazy anyway, but I feel bad for the women that didn't understand me, because that means that you really like live your life with a scarcity mindset of, oh, I'm gonna take good enough because I'll never get better than good enough. Girl, I will always get better than good enough. And it honestly just really made me sad to see the women that didn't understand what I was talking about, because sis, that means that you dated people that did not treat you well. A prerequisite to dating me is that you treat me well. That's the bare minimum. And the fact that you are not getting bare minimum, I feel sorry for you, sis, but I can't live my life that way.
So in this new video, she's saying that he was good, but that good is the bare minimum, and that she deserves better than good. And actually, she feels bad for women who have to settle for just good men. A bit aggressive, but the girlies loved it. They ate that shit up. Meanwhile, all the men are like, I still don't understand what separates good enough men from great men. I'm still... Finally, I found this one last clip of her on a podcast talking about it, where I think we get the only logical conclusion we possibly can out of this breakup.
Love what you said a little earlier about the guys that you were dating. They were good, but they weren't ready. I had a story time go viral about my most recent ex, how he was a really good guy. Treated me well, but that was not my husband, period. It wasn't my husband. And people were really confused because they were saying, well, if he was a good guy, he treated you well and he raised your standard, what's wrong? But it's just like, there is a big difference between a good guy and a husband. A huge difference. And if the compatibility, the spirituality, our walks with God, what we want in the future, how we want to have a family, if those things don't align, who cares how good he is? Yeah. Because that's not my husband. But people were really confused on that. And I'm just like, how is that a difficult concept? I date good guys. Like, I'm always going to date a guy that buys me flowers and open my door. That's base level.
Everybody ain't dating a Pookie and a Ray Ray. I didn't date Pookie and Ray Ray. Yeah. And every good guy is, like you said, it's not for you. You might be an amazing woman. Every man is not going to see that. Every man is not going to want that at the same time. And our value doesn't come from how a guy or a man sees us. Our value comes from ourselves and God.
Caption reads, good boyfriend does not automatically mean he's your husband. How is that not common sense? Y'all will put more effort into deciphering what to wear to a party than choosing the correct partner for you. I do agree with that last bit. Now in this video, she's saying that their plans for a future and a family and possibly even their religious views did not align, which is a completely different story than we heard from the first video. Things like whether or not you want to have children or whether or not you believe in God will fundamentally stand in the way of a healthy relationship, even between two really good people. So if this is what she originally meant to say, but just did not get that point across clearly, and we're finally getting there now, thank goodness. If she came up with this last minute to kind of finally get people off her ass, that also would not surprise me. The point is, it has been almost a month of her responding to criticism because of this video, and she still doesn't get it. And this is why Drizzle Drizzle and Soft Guy era is so necessary. Because it really took a man saying the exact same thing she's been saying for months for people to go, wait a minute. And I really don't know how to wrap this up because I don't know what the solution is here. Because I'm the one who always tells people that you're allowed to break up with or get broken up with for any or no reason. It is allowed. It just doesn't make you're a great guy, you're just not a husband, not one of the shittiest things a man could ever possibly hear about himself. It's like your ex-boyfriend saying, she was great, she's just one of those always the bridesmaid, never the bride types, you know what I mean? Oh, like that didn't even happen to me, and I'm affected. I think she was a lot more charitable in that last video than she had been in any of the previous videos, but I still just don't think it's as cut and dry as, oh, I'm already a wife. No, I'm good. I'm already ready. I'm just not about to settle for someone who's not good enough for me. Because I think that what Amani is missing here is that what she's been communicating this entire time and what the final message ends up being is that even if you are a man who treats her well, if you are not a husband, then she will still have no problem publicly declaring that you are beneath her and that she is above you. Like, there's a pretty distinct difference between we were incompatible and I will not settle for you. Saying that someone is not good enough for you is far more demoralizing than saying that your paths in life did not align. I don't think women know how mean they can be, and it's just not sitting right with me, the ego it takes to say that people are not good enough for you and that you feel bad for women who have to settle for only good enough. It's not like we're Pokemon cards with rarity symbols at the bottom, like this one's uncommon and that one's common and this one's holographic. And like, to give you an idea how potent the words good and bad are, I once had a college English professor completely ban the words from our classroom entirely, arguing that they were both dehumanizing and lazy. And I have to agree. Now, I actually am one of those people who does have good things to say about my exes, and I do believe that I dated good guys. Almost every single one of them has gone on to marry an absolute 10. And we broke up for multiple reasons, but I would never say that those reasons are because I was too good for them or that none of them were good enough for me. That's just a weird thing to say about someone that you allegedly respect. And the need to do so speaks volumes about one's hubris. As if a relationship ending is a personal attack unless they can come up with a narrative that shows that it wasn't their fault. It honestly makes me think he's the one who broke up with her, but this is all just opinion and speculation. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the conversation to you in the comments. Do you think this was kind of a sneak diss on her ex, despite the fact that she claims he was a good man who treated her well? Or do you think she didn't do anything wrong and everyone has the right to determine who is and isn't good enough for them? What do you think about the Drizzle Drizzle and soft guy era movements? Do you think it's poking holes in a lot of the logic women use when dealing with relationships? Or do you think it's more of just a childish mimicry and that women simply are held to a different standard than men are? I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about this one, but that's about all I've got for you today. Make sure that you are subscribed, turn the notification bell on, hit like. I will see you guys next time. Bye.